My friend Philip Lemoine hosts a cooking show called What's Good in Honolulu, Hawaii. His subscriber count has grown nearly 20 times over the last few months, so I talked to him about how he was able to monetize his channel. Now that you've been doing it for, about a year or two, you've finally been able to start to monetize it, to make some money off of it. And I know just from knowing you and your journey, it's been pretty recent where you've really kind of seen that uptick. So just tell me, for somebody that might be starting their own YouTube channel like myself doing this, what are some of the tips that you would give to somebody that's new? How often do you need to put out content? Maybe some of the back end stuff that you and I have talked about that needs to be done. Is there a couple of tips for somebody getting started that you would give?
Yeah, for sure. I think the number one tip I would say is to do something you're passionate about, something that you genuinely care about, and not to do it for money, because it's a journey and it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and you're going to start putting out content and it's not going to make money immediately, maybe for years. And if you're not passionate about it and you're just doing it for the money and you don't see that money coming in after a week, a month, a year, you're going to quit, So focus on something that you're passionate about. The next thing would be to create content that helps people. YouTube is a search engine. It's the second largest search engine in the world, next to Google, and it's owned by Google. So people are typing in search terms in the search bar for YouTube. So it's much easier to get picked up if you're teaching how to do something than it is to say, oh, look at my life, or look at how I live in Hawaii with my great, vlog. No one cares until they care about who you are, right? So you definitely want to start delivering value to your viewers first before you start trying to transition into this lifestyle. Look at me, look at how cool I am. If you were to ever do that, I would want to do that anyways.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. If you just get on YouTube to start a channel just to think, oh, how can I make money off of this? Or think that people might care about you when they don't know you, that's just not going to happen. I think, like you say, do something you're passionate about. For me, the reason I started this whole YouTube show is I like to learn from people. I like to hear people's stories. I want to share those stories with other people, because even at my age, I've met so many amazing, incredible people who do incredible things with their life. And, most people don't know about them. I know that my whole network doesn't know about you. And so being able for me just to share that with other people, I hope will provide value. Now, eventually, if I keep doing this for the next year or two, I would like to make some money off of it. That would be sort of like a nice byproduct of it. So that being said, let's say I've got the passion. Let's say I'm providing the value. But if I do want to monetize it, how do I set myself up for that? What would be a couple of tips, just maybe in terms of how often you're delivering content, some of the back end stuff, with hashtags or whatever? Any tips on that you've seen that work for you?
So one of the biggest tools that I use to help get reach on my channel is a plugin called Keywords Everywhere. And this plugin is something that you can download, and it goes to your Chrome search or whatever like that. But what you can actually do is, or the way this tool works is, you can type in a phrase into YouTube, like meatloaf, for example, or meatloaf recipe, because if you do meatloaf, you'll get the band, right? But meatloaf recipe, and you can see how often this term is searched. Chocolate chip cookies. That term is searched on YouTube almost 500,000 times a month. So when you start trying to think of ideas, it's always good to use this tool and think, well, what are people searching for? If you don't want to download the tool and pay the money for it, I think it's only like $10 and you get 100,000 keyword searches. But if you don't want to pay for it, you can just start typing in words and search and start auto populating stuff. How to, and then the next couple of things will pop up. These are things that people are searching for already. Maybe you type in Honolulu, Hawaii, and then you'll see the next words that pop up are like restaurants or whatever. And these will kind of give you some great ideas on the kind of content that people are searching for that you could create within your niche and then get more reach, you know? And then those views will then lead to more subscribers that are enjoying your content. And you really need, I think, 1,000 subscribers and I think about 4,000 minutes or hours of watch time before you can start getting monetized. And then that's when you can start actually making income off of your views. Now, YouTube views, I want to say, is the worst way to make money off YouTube. It's the easiest way because it just happens, but it's the most risky because you have no control over what YouTube's going to change. You know what I mean? They might change their policies and say, you know what, now we're not doing ads anymore. And you were really banking off just ads, you know, or maybe they cut that pricing in half and now your income that you were living off of, it just got cut in half, you know? So there are other ways to make money from YouTube, and that would be, you know, with affiliate marketing. You can create a product, like I can make a cookbook and it's a downloadable PDF, you know, whatever niche you're in, you know, if you were doing weddings, you could tell people how you book weddings and your contract or booking process, and then you could sell your contract, you know. You want to sell a product, you know, these are the things that you can have control of. You could sell merchandise, t-shirts.
Now, where is that done
coffee
through?
mugs.
Is that done through like your own YouTube channel, or is that done through something else? You talk about a cookbook. Do they just click a separate link under your description, or how does that work?
Yeah, so these are digital products that you would make separately, and then you would put a link in your description, and then you would do call to actions in your videos. Hey, if you're interested in learning more, check out my course on how to cook cooking videos. The link's in the description, you know, those sort of things. So these are kind of the best ways to diversify your income, you know what I mean, and have other revenue streams within that. And YouTube doesn't have to be your main platform. Maybe you don't like being on camera, you know, maybe you just like talking. You can do a podcast, you know, maybe you don't like your voice and you don't like to be seen on camera. You could do a blog, you know, blogs are still very popular, you know. Instagram is another great platform where you could share educational, valuable information through photos or videos, and then have them linked in the description or your bio on where they can buy these items or, you know, purchase these items, you know. So it's really on what you're into and what you want to do, what you're passionate about. Just do something you're passionate about, that you believe in, that you want to share with the world.
That's a great point. You know, you don't have to actually, when we're talking basically about, you know, monetizing content is kind of what this is about, you know, with your YouTube channel. But what you're saying is that there are other outlets. So let's, like you say, maybe you don't like to be in front of the camera. That's okay. You can do a podcast, or you can write a blog with, you know, whatever you want to share on there. There's also other platforms for creators I know I've heard of, and I haven't done a ton of research on this yet, but maybe you can help out with platforms like Patreon, Rokefin, Locals.com. These are a bunch of other platforms that are alternatives to YouTube now. So if you are someone that, say, wants to do a YouTube channel, are you also able to do other platforms like that with your videos and still monetize content there? Does it have to just be, you know, exclusive with YouTube, or do you know how that all works?
You know, I'm not too familiar with those other platforms. I do have a Patreon though. I'll put a link in the bio if you want to support my channel, or you will for me, right? No.
Yeah.
But I think.
What is Patreon? Can you tell me about that?
Patreon is similar to like a crowdfunding type thing, where, you know, even back in the day with like Picasso, he was like, the way he made money is he had Patreons that would enjoyed his work and said, hey, I want you to paint this. I'll pay you to paint this, you know? And that's basically what it is now. You know, you just have fans or Patreons that enjoy your work and they want you to be able to create, you know? So it's just an opportunity or another resource or it's another income stream that creators can have to continue to create the things that they want to make.
Gotcha.
One thing I do know is that I own my content on YouTube in a sense where I can put it wherever I want. So I can put that same content on IGTV or wherever else, and I can, I guess, essentially monetize it however I want, you know. It's just the platform that I'm using, YouTube, uses my content to push ads to viewers, and that's how they make their money.
Gotcha. Okay, so what you're saying is it doesn't have to be exclusive to YouTube or Patreon. And Patreon is something if somebody sees a bunch of your cooking videos and they say, "Hey, can you make these chocolate chip cookies that I've been wanting someone to do?" Then they can pay you to actually produce that video.
Yeah, so I think with Patreon, there's different tiers that you can set up. So these Patreons, they'll pay this monthly fee or monthly donation towards your channel, and you could set up those tiers however you want. Like, I don't have any tiers, it's just whatever you want to donate. But some people would be like, hey, for $3 a month, thank you for supporting my channel, you get nothing, right? But if you do $5 a month, I'm going to post, you'll have access to my personal vlogs that I'm going to post every month, you know what I mean? And for $10 a month, I'll give you first dibs on all my content before it goes on YouTube or whatever it may be, right? And then for like $250 a month, you can create a recipe and I'll make it, so it's just really what you want to do and how you want to do it.
Okay, so tell me, now that we kind of got an idea of how the YouTube channel works, and it sounds like you've really got a good foundation going, that you've really sort of set yourself up to just take off. I know that you posted recently that you went from, I believe, 5,000 to 10,000 subscribers, and I think it was a week time or something along those lines, a very short amount of time. Is that right?
Yeah, I think I had less than 1,000 subscribers in December 2019, and now I'm at 13,000.
Wow. Yeah, and it's just gone exponentially up. So I'm sure for you, this must be just very exciting, to see this growth, and knowing now that you can continue to do this, during this pandemic, especially. A lot of us, including myself, including yourself, we haven't been able to shoot any events or any types of weddings or anything. So in a sense, the timing of your channel taking off couldn't have really happened at a better time.
I gave myself 2 years. I was like, hey, I'm gonna give YouTube 2 years, and if it doesn't work, I'm gonna figure out the next move, for passive income. And I didn't really think, 2019 is when I started. I made 3 videos in January, and I posted them back to back to back in 3 weeks. And then I quit because it was a lot of work. YouTube is a lot of work. Creating videos is a lot of work. And the wedding season started, and I just kind of gave up. The thing that happened was my channel really started to pick up at the end of the year. And then that's when I realized, like, hey, maybe I should just double down on this, So I want to say 2020 is really my year where I said, I'm going to start I'm going to give it 2 years from here. Because I didn't really try in 2019, but now I am. And I am seeing the traction when I'm starting to be consistent.